Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dee Emeralda, and this is IPC Broadcast. To begin this morning, an excerpt brought to you by XinHua News, simply quoted from the United Nations Security Council. I will discord you.
Somehow. This is Chan from the XinHua News Agency. Our first story today comes from the UNSC, addressing the topic of the supply of arms relating to the situation in Gaza. I'll discord you. The delegate of South Korea replies after Russia questions about their claims.
We want to ask, do you have any proof of what we should necessarily? They may have somewhere it's found illegally by a third party. You're very accused, even there's no proof at all. Yes, I do have sources I can disclose.
After generous speakers list, the delegate of South Korea criticized the DPRK for supplying arms to the Hamas and opened themselves for POIs. Russia immediately took this opportunity to question the legitimacy of the baseless claims from South Korea that has been made. South Korea replied with citing multiple articles about South Korea's intelligence service discovering North Korean inscription in Hamas weapons, to which Russia clarified with
Still, that DPRK has not provided the weapons, but it is a DPRK weapon.
deflecting to the Israeli Defense Force and their reliance on US supplied arms.
Moving forward, the United Nations World Trade Organization has been busy in discussion with regards to trade embargoes and many more. Brought to you by Russia Today.
Here at the World Trade Organization Council, currently the topics being discussed is the use of unilateral trade embargoes.
As the delegate of Kenya, we strongly believe that the UTS, unilateral trade sanctions, should be abolished and not exist at all. Thank you.
The con is that developing countries are not really pleased to deal with the big countries who impose unilateral trade embargoes. There isn't much progress yet in this council, but there is still more to go. This is RT News signing off.
This is just in. From the past, in the 1960s, Russia Today has secured an exclusive interview with the Soviet delegation. Over to Russia Today.
How will the Soviet Union react to this revelation that the USA are bloodthirsty warmongers?
I'd like to clarify that the US are the ones who blockaded Cuba, so they are the ones who are actively warmongering. So yes, a blockade is considered an act of war, and we have brought this case up to the ICJ.
Alright. Some question I would like to ask is what truly happened in Cuba?
What truly happened in Cuba? Okay, so firstly we did place our nukes and anti-airs, we set up anti-airs, and we did place our Soviet troops.
I do believe there was an act of defense against the United States.
Yes, that is
power, right?
an act of defense towards American aggression towards Cuba and the Soviet Union. And then next, then the Folder Gap incident occurred when when NATO started doing provocative military exercises near the Folder Gap. Hence, we needed to revert our attention to the Folder Gap and not Cuba, because Cuba is 11,000 kilometers away. We have to focus on a problem in Europe first before focusing on a problem 11,000 kilometers away.
The motherland comes first, right?
The motherland comes first, and its allies in the Warsaw Pact, because they are one of the most important allies to the USSR.
Speaking of the Warsaw Pact, the fact that Hungary and Albania have been implicated in the invasion of a neutral state, how will the Warsaw Pact and the USSR deal with this fallout?
The Warsaw Pact and the USSR fully condemn this action for they have not even consented to us before declaring war on a neutral nation such as Austria. Hence why we are cutting ties with Hungary and Albania.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has appeared that the BBC News is also reporting from the 1960s. In today's update, there seems to be a conflict between the Warsaw Pact and the Eastern Bloc. It appears that Hungary had declared a war against Austria. Stay tuned for more information from the BBC News.
Removing 20% of our missiles from Turkey and from Cuba. However, right now there are escalations going on with all NATO troops at the highest level of readiness and a war breaking out between Austria and Hungary.
The Soviet Union claims the blockade has not been removed even though promised earlier. USA argues back that there was no promises of all ships gone from the blockade, only 20%. Cuba claims everyone has abandoned Cuba and more focused on the war in Europe. The Soviet Union argues back that aid sent to Cuba was considered useless. Plus, the Soviet Union has cut all ties with Hungary after Hungary's declaration of war against Austria. The state of Austria condemns the Western powers for not acting and the Warsaw Pact members for not preventing the war in the first place.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all from the IPC broadcast. Stay tuned for more headlines and be sure to check the TLMUN IPC website for more news. This has been Dee Emeralda signing off, and Salam Malaysia Madani.